And it wasn't until I had kind of tendon issues that I started to understand that. The tendons are an issue when they're limiting you. Okay, when you start to get inflammation, when they start to break down. I started to do a lot of research just on the internet, talking to different specialists about tendons. And the thing that I really learned about tendons and all connective structures is that they have a different circulatory system to them. They're not fed the same way most of your tissues are. Like, I could just be asleep and my muscles will be fed. They're open enough that the pressure that my heart generates is going to push everything to them that they need, for the most part. Now, things like tendons, you can't say the same thing. When they go in with microscopes, electron microscopes, and they look at how these tissues are fed, it's through movement. Okay, when they do cadaver studies of athletes, and they look at the power lifters, they look at the strongmen, they look at their tendons and connective structures, and they're very unimpressive. And then they look at the long distance runners, the marathoners, and their tendons and connections are beautiful and healthy and strong and thick. And it has to do with blood flow, nutrition, and how they're fed. And it's all through repetition. I went through a phase around the time when I had my surgeries, which was around 2013 to about, well, I had my last one in 2016, but I did a lot around the 2012 to 2014, 15 period, where I discovered this, and I was doing thousands of repetitions a day, all in the arm wrestling movements, just to feed my ligaments, feed my tendons, and this is what works. If you have good nutrition in your body, good nutrition, we all know what good nutrition is, probably not a lot of donuts, but if you feed your ligaments, it's not necessarily just from what's in your blood. You have to move it. You have to push the fluids into where you want it. Okay? It's all tendons and ligaments is all about reps. That's all it is. Reps. Reps. Yeah, I made a video, Master of Monotony, years ago, and it kind of talks about this. Like, you must, if you have tendonitis, a lot of people in this room probably have tendonitis. You need to do tons of repetitions to heal it, for the most part. That's the way to fix it. When your tendons are healthy, don't ever do reps. Just get strong. Just get strong. And then when your tendons fail you, do reps, heal them. And it doesn't take as long as you might think. I remember the first time I blew my arm, it was like 1998. I blew everything open on the inside. I was trying to press a guy I should never have tried to press. I couldn't even go like this for like a year and a half. I couldn't even do that. Could only top roll. And I just left it. I didn't know anything. I just left it alone. For a year and a half it hurt. Finally, one day after a year and a half, I was like, damn it, I'm just going to work through the pain. It was gone in 2 weeks. You have to find the area of pain, and you have to work with it. Never feel pain. Never ever make it sharp. But you have to play with it so that the fluid goes through. That's the key to fixing your tendons and ligaments.
Is this the strongest Devon we ever saw?
Pardon me?
Is this the strongest Devon we ever saw right now?
Man, I was pretty strong 2 weeks ago. Well, where is Marcus? Find it tomorrow, buddy. I'm pretty good right now. I think that this is a really good year for me. I've been doing really well. I'm the heaviest I've been. Not that that always means everything. I think I was really good around 2008 on my first kind of ascent, and I kind of held it for a while, and I learned a lot. You know, it's like, you know, so long as you keep your goal and you keep fighting, you keep thinking, you can have another wave. These waves are long, right? And I think that I'm good right now. I think next year, come April, will definitely be the strongest I've ever been. Yeah, I think so.
What is with your right hand? $6,000. With your right arm, getting older than 2008.
It's tighter. Well, it's different. So I think 2008 was probably pretty close. I had surgery. I got all my range back. and now it's kind of tightened up, but I don't think it's from bone down. I don't think it's bone.
Is it injuries or why you get more open and...
Oh, why I pull like that?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I understand. Why is my style changed? Well, okay, so yes, I did lose a lot of my ability to post, okay? Anything that leveraged off my elbow just wasn't there, and I left it. I just stopped training it. Just couldn't. I had to rebuild everything. I had to rebuild the whole joint. So yeah, my ability to arm wrestle in this high posted style, it just faded. Is it coming back with my right? I don't know, but the thing is I now know different things. I now know that there's a style that might be more powerful that doesn't even require me to be like that.
But against Michael Todd when you want to you must...
It will be very important, yes. So when I think about an opponent like Michael Todd, yes, the hand and height is extremely important. And for the next 6 months, I will definitely be focusing a lot on it. Yeah.
When you faced John Brzenk, I think it was 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did. That was probably the best part of my whole game.
If you watch the video now, it's pretty obvious that you had everything in pose. You had
Yeah.
a pose from
Yeah. Yeah, but it's changed a lot. Arm wrestling has changed a lot since then. The way that we think about arm wrestling, the way that I think about arm wrestling has changed. Now, it's so much to do with strap. Like arm wrestling now, you have access to the strap anytime you want it. And the truth is, in a strap, my ability to do this is like, it's good, don't get me wrong, but this always loses to this. It's never going to be stronger. Like you can have somebody who's a great poster and just a medium ability to do this, and this ability will be stronger. Their hand might get folded, but it's still coming back. So knowing that and understanding that the strap game is it's kind of the era that we live in, it shifts the sport a bit, I believe. I believe that the sport now is much more about the ability to drag, the ability to pronate, the ability to hold on tight. I think that this defines who our current champions are, in my opinion.
Last time when top touching
Yeah. Yeah.
you really won the first time.
Yeah, I didn't think I did. I thought he beat me, but they let it keep going, so eventually, yeah, I beat him.
After that, I think he realized the importance of height and how he was challenged. Then against Matt Mask, even though Matt Mask...
I don't think that he changed at all. I don't think that he learned anything. I think he just managed to beat Matt.
You got a good formation, a great position, a great influence with Matt. But the thing, what I'm trying to say is, toe touching, of course he got hands, but he got lots of side pressure, and he also turns back pressure. And against Jay Cadret, the straight draw wasn't safe. But if you got enough back pressure and side pressure, if you got more hands, would it be possible to get through all the ones like the 20 meters versus St. Mary's 17? I mean, it wasn't much different. Even though somebody gets your hands, you can...
If you get strong enough in any way, it's going to be great. Like, if you're strong enough to do this, which is really kind of, you know, but if I can do 1,000 pounds like this, I'm probably going to win against somebody who arm wrestles really good, kind of the right way. If you get strong enough, it's always a great thing. I personally am not of the Todd Hutchings school of thought when it comes to arm wrestling. I believe that arm wrestling is about making people come to you so you can control their hands and getting so far past them so that you can control the shoulder line. I believe that throwing the ball is just a great addition to any one of those things. Okay, like yes, I would love to have more side pressure, but it's at the end of the move. To me, that doesn't win a great arm wrestling match. That beats a guy that you should be able to beat anyways. Or it's like it gets you out of jail in a match that you should have lost, but you can win sloppy, which is cool. That's great. But to me, a great arm wrestler controls the outside or they control the inside. I just don't understand it really, the whole throwing the ball thing. Like to me, I don't really buy it. Like I don't really buy it as a fighting philosophy. Anything that wins, I do pay attention to. Todd Hutchings is a great champion. There are a lot of factors that you have to look at whenever you weigh and measure anything. So it's important to have as much information as possible. Side pressure, arm wrestling, to me, is not something that I strive to become.
It's just another style.
Every style is good, but I don't think it's a wise style to invest in. Everything is an investment. You only have so much energy to invest. I invest almost nothing in side pressure because I don't think it's very valuable. But that's my belief, that's my philosophy. I believe that you have much better chance of winning by fully controlling the outside, which is through posting, pronation, grip, drag, or controlling shoulder line through cupping, supination, pressing, things like that. Yeah, straight side is just asking to have bad form, get taken advantage of, and have to be way stronger to win.
But how much is it? How much things can you equalize so when you get good technique?
Well, I mean, and that's the question. So how good? So ask yourself, how good is Todd Hutchings? How strong is Todd Hutchings? Who are the people that beat him? How strong are they? How much? Like you have to weigh and measure that. So
You feel it against Dennis Armwrestling? How much?
yeah, but listen, but Dennis didn't beat me with side pressure. Dennis beat me with fundamentals. Dennis is arm wrestling, in my opinion, the way that you should. His cup is tremendous. So is his opponent. All his fundamentals. Dennis has great arm wrestling fundamentals. To me, when I felt Dennis, I'm feeling a fundamentally strong arm wrestler that I believe in all the pressures that he was throwing at me were totally sound. Yeah.
Can we expect Mad Mask to get a haircut?
I hope not. I hope he never gets a haircut. I love that.
Would you tell us about wrestling strategy if it comes to strap match or not? I remember the match when you scored last time John Brzenk, and I saw him going down the strap.
Yeah.
And John was so strong with his hand,
Yeah.
he didn't even let you go to the strap.
Right.
And I think it was the key in the match.
Yes.
And I think we told us that a couple of years ago, thinking about strap matches changed, and I think that Michael and you are maybe the main most important persons for this, because you developed the strap strategy and go to strap every time, since the rule allows this.
Yes.
And it makes it a lot of difference in the game. Maybe you can tell us about the strategy.
Sure.
If we go in a match in a tournament, should we strive for
Yeah.
strip? Shouldn't we?
Yeah.
What are the factors?
Yeah. Okay, so in arm wrestling, you want to consider what you can do, and you want to consider what your opponent can do. Now, to me, straps can be, now it depends on the league, okay? If you're pulling WAF, this is not true. I'm not pulling WAF most of the time, except for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm pulling WAF. But most of my time is in the WAL. So I'll address it a couple different ways, okay? I'll address it as a WAL athlete. As a WAL athlete, basically, if either one of us wants to be in a strap, and we've got more than like a 65 IQ will get it, okay? You just gotta wait 30 seconds. So you can come to the table and you can go chalk up, come back, walk away, and you're in the strap, okay? So as soon as you understand that one of us is probably gonna feel better in the strap, okay? Whether it's you or whether it's me, one of us wants the strap. So that being said, you better spend a lot of time practicing strap arm wrestling if you're going to go to the WAL. Because it will go there. It will go there basically every match. And that's under the current rule systems. The rules are always evolving, okay? The rules are always changing, but right now in the World Arm Wrestling League, you will get the strap. So to me, it's got to be like 99% of where your energy goes when you practice on an arm wrestling table. The only reason you don't is just because you're having fun and messing around. If you're a WL arm wrestler, you're a strap arm wrestler. If you're in the WAF, I'd say that it's not too far off, okay? When John beat me like that, I felt like, I kind of pride myself on trying to be a smart arm wrestler, okay? John outsmarted me that day, all right? And I did the same mistake twice. And that still to this day upsets me. In round 1 against John, I thought for some reason that I was going to be able to set a hook on him. I don't know why I thought that. But I realized I was getting my hand taken away from me, and I was gone. Okay? Got the strap, and I won that first round. And this is before, so this is previous, okay? So you couldn't get the strap by 30 seconds back in those days in the WAL. In those days, you still had to earn the strap by slip, okay? Now, John got all the information that he needed in that first round, okay? But that's fine, so I played the same card the second round because it was a successful round 1. No big deal. But John knew that he actually was able to top roll me then, so he knew my hand was going to go, and then as I tried to escape, he did the exploding hand technique, which you guys probably know. Exploding hand technique is a top roll that turns into a shoulder press, and it chases the person off. Okay, so he did that on me round 2. And my stupidity, I tried to do the exact same thing round 3, where I believe in retrospect, which is, you know, what's that worth? I don't know. I should have just stuck and just ran the whole time from start to finish, not even showing hook, just show top roll, and I think that I would have had a greater chance of escape. I think that it's still very hard to stop a person from getting a strap, okay? If you are in a league where this is questionable, I'd say you probably need to do a lot more of this, a lot more rising, okay? If you think it's hard for you to get a strap, spend a lot of time being able to push your hand upwards. Work your grip. Up, grip, up, grip. This is how you develop high hand control. This is how you develop like exploding hand. This is how you have your post, your high hook. All of these moves are not worth as much in a strap. So it's just an evaluation of where do you arm wrestle and what do you think you can get away with. To answer it? Yeah?
When you know a match goes into the hook 100%, would you still try to go for the strap before that? Or would you try to hook without the strap?
Yeah, a lot of times, a lot of times I'll have a couple factors. Sometimes the person is actually better in a strap than I am. And if that's the case, yeah, I'll try and keep it out of a strap. It's just really hard to do. That's the problem. It's just very, very hard to do with most people who are good arm wrestlers.
I'm asking this because the problem is that the strap is more valuable in outside arm wrestling than in inside arm wrestling, right?
I don't know if I agree with that, but not sure.
How would you fight inside with the strap?
By dragging. So the main thing with all strap arm wrestling, what happens is the component of just simply doing this becomes super valuable. Super, super valuable. And outside of a strap, this is actually not that good. Like really, like, unless you have a hand that's just strong as steel, like, you can't really do this to people. But in a strap, you can. There's an ability, I don't even need to have a cup. I don't even need a cup. If I just pull back, the person's arm opens. So, when you think inside arm wrestling or outside arm wrestling, you're dragging. Okay? When I'm outside arm wrestling in a strap, I'm dragging. When I'm inside arm wrestling, I'm dragging. The only difference is shoulder commitment and pronation. When I'm outside arm wrestling, I'm dragging and I'm pronating. When I'm inside arm wrestling, I'm dragging and I'm moving my shoulder forward. And I'm cutting it with this ridge. They're both drags. They're both great. I would not want to say that the strap disadvantages inside arm wrestling. I wouldn't want to say it.
Question to, do you know Oleg Jefferson?
I think I do, but
It's like the guy in
We watched a video against Mayowa.
Oleg Jefferson.
yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, I think so. I might need to see it again, but anyways.
He's not a big right man.
I think you don't remember his slip outs. The slip outs are very special, I think.
Yeah.
He always gets strapped in the W.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. I mean,
What
slipping.
is legal?
Oh yeah, he's great. That's a great arm wrestler. He's really fantastic. I mean, well, he's probably got a really strong pronation. You know, he's probably pronating through almost every time. And he's probably doing it in a low hand fashion where basically he's forcing the person at some point either to try and hold on, which they won't be able to do, or to slip out themselves. Like they're either going to run away and he's totally fine with that, or if they actually do try and hold on to him, he's going to be able to buckle their hand. And so either way a slip is created. A good arm wrestler, like he's a great, fantastic arm wrestler. It's really hard to stop a guy from slipping. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult.
But I saw never someone arm wrestle and slip out like that. Like he's pulling the elbow so smoothly back. Like
Yeah.
it's an elbow fall almost.
But it's not though, is it?
It's the elbow's
Almost.
before the hand
Yeah.
slips. It's so perfect.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's very hard to stop somebody from getting straps. Very hard. So, like once you learn how to pronate properly, once you learn how to use your thumb, once you learn how to establish height, and that's why I say get good in the strap, practice the strap, spend most of your time in the strap. It's just a reality. Yeah.
What do you think about pull-ups?
I used to think of them a lot more. Pull-ups are a great full body developer. I think that whatever you do, you get better at. Okay? And this is actually very precise, I believe. So if you're doing pull-ups, you're going to get better at pull-ups. Okay? Are you doing a pull-up at the table? Not exactly. You can change your pull-ups. You want to make your pull-ups more accurate? Change the handle, right? So instead of having your bar like this, change it like this. Instead of having it fixed, have it spin. You want to change it again? Turn it into a strap, okay? Start cutting down. Use your thumb. The vector is fine. This vector to be strong in is fantastic. To do full range, again, I do believe in waves, right? I do believe in waves. So what that means is there's maybe a time for it when you're far away from a tournament. When you're far away is a good time to do more things that are not so specialized. So like after a tournament, maybe it's better. Regain more health. Health can be leveraged for specialization, you know? I don't do a lot of pull-ups. Now also, I'm older, okay? And I'm more broken, okay? So I for me to do pull-ups, it's going to hurt me, okay? But I don't think it's as important. I do mess around on a pull-up bar, but everything is like ba 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 ba, or like ba ba ba. You know, everything's like tight, closed in. Yeah, more of a general development piece, in my opinion.
What do you do, like 5 days before fights? Like how do you prepare mentally?
So when I think about a fight, when I think about going into a match, so much of it really depends on how much time and energy I've invested into it, okay? So if it's a big match, and when I say big match, I'll say something that I've trained for at least 3 months, okay? That to me is a big investment. It's a big match. 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, these are big investments. So I will be deep into my taper. So the taper starts earlier than 5 days. So the taper length becomes longer as the preparation becomes longer. But there are typical time structures, okay, that I've been working with over my whole career. And these have gotten longer as I've gotten older. When you're younger, you heal quicker, things bounce back faster, the body has less memory. When you're older, things take longer to come back from, but you have more memory. Your body remembers things longer. So just because you stop working out, it's not like you're going to still keep on the right track. Around, normally my minimum beginning of my taper is 3.5 weeks. That's a minimum. I typically like to taper 4 or 5 weeks. This is better for me now at my age. The first step to the taper is right away. Right away, nothing is hard, okay? At that point, I'm like, from this point forward, everything is easy. It's just kind of a mental shift. That means I don't push the ball forward. Every single time I go to the gym, and I know I talked about earlier how I don't try that hard. Every single time I go to the gym, I am trying to do more in some very small incremental way. And that stops 5 weeks before. So every time I go to the gym, I'm basically more embracing just feeling good. The first thing I'm careful of is my connective tissues, okay? So my form tightens up. No more open forms, no more sloppy forms. On the table, I stop being defensive and letting people move on me to becoming much more guarded and closed and protecting all my angles, okay? Because I don't want any inflammation. Inflammation takes a long time to get rid of. So that's around the 3-week point. And there will be a couple spots along the way. Normally around the 10-day point is another check. Around 10 days out for me, I am at that point normally completely finished with taking any kind of risk, okay? Like I can do all sorts of training, but just like everything becomes just so manageable. And instead of like not pushing the bar forward, all I'm trying to do is stay somewhat active. And around the 5-day mark, I might switch to just a little bit of blood flow, a little bit of visualization. Actually, no, that's when a visualization becomes very important because that's basically your final piece. People talk about visualization a lot, and it's super important. I think visualization will pay off a lot in anything you're trying to do. People talk about being positive in visualization. It's not something that I embrace. When I'm spending my time visualizing, preparing for a match, I try and see everything. I try to see the good things that can happen, but it doesn't always go like that. Sometimes I see the bad things that happen. But no matter what, I try and remain active in the fight. I try and still continue to stay positive, even though the dream or the vision takes me down a path I might not be happy with. As you get closer to competition, it becomes very important, in my opinion,